Well, the start of the WSL is just around the corner, and what a season it could be, especially on the back of success for England in the Women's Euros in the summer. Joining me to preview the action, Becky Thompson. And Becky, we've got to start with Chelsea going for another title. Who could be the team that get closest to them and maybe prevent them from doing so?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you have to say Arsenal at this point. They've been second the last couple of seasons. They took it all the way down to the final day last season as well. And they really haven't made that many signings this year. They're really trusting their squad that they have. They're trusting the likes of Beth Mead, Vivian Miedema to really push forward to challenge for that title. And they've also brought in Lena Hurtig this year from Juventus, who is a known goal scorer, big presence up front. So they've really strengthened their ranks through that kind of their main signing of the summer. So I think you'd have to say Arsenal, although it'll be really interesting to see if the likes of Man United and Man City, who previously challenged for the title, can push forward again.
Yeah, we'll speak about some of the other teams shortly, but I want to start with Chelsea, and rightly so. They've brought some good additions in over the summer. Do you think they have the strength and depth, squad-wise, to be able to not only try and win another title, but also compete and possibly win the Champions League for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've really added to their depth in terms of their defense this year. They've added Kadisha Buchanan from Lyon. She has won the Champions League 5 times over there. They've added Yves Perisset as well, so another defensive power from France who's also played in the Champions League multiple times. So they're clearly adding to their squad with Champions League in mind. They obviously will always want to have the WSL as their top focus. You can't imagine that Emma Hayes isn't thinking about winning a 4th consecutive title at this point, but they're looking to add that experience of competing in Europe, especially when they get into the later stages of the competition.
The other thing is as well, being in the Champions League, you can attract a better quality player, and you can attract decent players that might be playing abroad that aren't in the Champions League. So this could be the strongest squad that Emma Hayes has been able to assemble.
Yeah, and we've really seen Emma Hayes build the squad carefully over the years as well. She's been thinking about this with a long-term vision, a long-term plan, really with that goal of winning the Champions League. And they've proven that they can win in the domestic league, and now they want to prove that they can win in Europe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we really see them challenge this year. Obviously, Barcelona and Lyon are still probably the favorites to win the competition, but Chelsea will definitely be making a good run for it.
What impressed you most about Arsenal last season, in addition with the additions that they have made over the summer, that gives you belief that they could not only challenge Chelsea this season, but potentially eclipse them in the WSL?
Yeah, I think it's really just the belief that they've instilled in their squad. I know that they had a hard time last year when Leah Williamson was injured briefly. They had a hard time finding that leadership from the back, but with her back and fit, I think that they'll really make a good run at it this year as well. And I think that their attacking power is obviously unrivaled. You've got the likes of Vivian Miedema, as we spoke about already, and her potentially looking to sit more into kind of a backfield position, slightly further back behind the forwards, and maybe be more of a playmaker rather than being in front of the goal this year. And I think that those key little changes, those little adjustments that they're willing to make might make the difference for them this year.
What do you think of the strengths and weaknesses of the Manchester United squad?
Yeah, I think Manchester United are probably one of the most interesting teams to keep an eye on this year, just because they've been challenging for the top 3rd spot, for the top 3 spot for a couple seasons now. They finished 4th the last couple years. They're looking to qualify for the Champions League. They're also looking to make a case for themselves as title contenders. And they really haven't lost too much talent this year. They've managed to retain some talent, and then they've managed to add in the likes of Nikita Paris. They brought in Lucia Garcia as well. And so they're really looking to add some kind of attacking power. They've got Adriana Leon from West Ham coming into their ranks too. So keeping those players in alongside the likes of Ella Toone, who's already in their squad, Alicia Russo as well. I think that they will really surprise a lot of people this year. I think that some people might write them off because they're not typically one of the big 3 in the WSL, but I can't see them not qualifying for Champions League this year, to be honest.
A lot of talk about additions there, but it's not additions that we need to talk about when discussing Manchester City. Gareth Taylor doesn't quite have the same squad he had last season, does he?
Yeah, Gareth Taylor's seen a mass exodus of players really from his squad this year. Over the last couple months, they've lost the likes of Lucy Bronze, Georgia Stanway, Janine Becky, Caroline Weir have all left the club, moved on to other clubs this year. But they've also had some key retirements in Jill Scott, Ellen White, and Karen Bardsley, who are, not only big players for them, but key personalities in the dressing room as well. So they're arguably irreplaceable. So they've had a mass exodus, which is going to raise a lot of questions. Not to mention Kira Walsh as well, moving on to Barcelona on a world record fee. Really going to leave a massive hole in their team, I think. And they've brought in some good young signings, Dana Castellanos as one of them, but they're all very young. And I think that it might take a little bit of time for them to really gel as a unit and to really kind of create the same kind of chemistry that they've had for so many years.
Yeah, building for the future. I mean, it's easy to say, well, we've got all this money for Kira Walsh, but some players at this point in time when they're transferred are pretty much irreplaceable, but they've got to find a way to do so. It just might require patience, and it might not be this season.
Yeah, and I think that they are going to have to be patient. I think that there's also going to be a lot of questions asked of Gareth Taylor now that they've lost so many key players. There's obviously quite a push for those players to move on and to leave the club. So you have to wonder what's going on behind the scenes and if he's really going to be able to inspire this new group of players as well.
Okay, time for some predictions. Can I have the top three in the WSL and the Champions League winner, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can't say that Chelsea won't win. Chelsea will win a fourth consecutive title. They've got all the tools to do it. They've got the players, and Emma Hayes, one of the best in the game, managing them as well. I think Arsenal will still finish second, and you'll get Manchester United in third place for the WSL. Champions League, I think Barcelona win it again. Runners up, Chelsea.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.